Hello. Oh, I'm losing bits of paper. Right, you just saw me working on this. I mean, it's a different day now because that was like Monday, I think, when I first got like the Saturday, when I first got like, you know, the winner and the word and stuff. So the word was caged and it's going to Chloe. So I kind of did like a sort of a brainstorming thing of the kind of words that I associate with that word caged, because I find that you know, it tends to spring off images and ideas, and you know, you kind of let your creativity go a bit crazy, and at that stage like anything is kind of possible, you know, because you're not actually thinking of the idea of the jewellery yet, you're just seeing where inspiration takes you. So started off with caged, and I've got things like, you can see obviously like caged bird, metal cage, wire frames, domes, which took me to pyramids, like nice structural things, and being tombed and encased, but also being like a goddess and things, and like Egyptian revival, that kind of thing. There's lovely pictures of, you know, like Egyptian goddesses and things like that, which are quite cool, but not much to do with I mean, I suppose you got like the bird thing, bird wing cage, you know. Anyway, and then rib cages. So rib cage to protect the heart, to protect your fragility, kind of like the home is sort of like your rib cage in a way. Like the home is the heart, you know. It's the outside, we're being protected, sort of, you know. I mean, in your brain, you're protecting what matters and things like that. Over this side, we've got your caged bird singing. There's obviously the Maya Angelou poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She talks of like golden tipped wings and stuff. And then like the singing, I thought, because I once had a problem about not being able to say what was bothering me, and then I had someone do like a Reiki thing, and then they stopped over my throat and they were like, your throat chakra is stuck, you know, it needs healing because you can't talk. And I thought about like that, being trapped, not being able to speak. So yeah, I thought about like the screaming and the throat chakra and stuff. Being free as a bird, is being at home actually like being free, because you're being free from like, you know, the world around, but do you want that? Is home actually safe? The freedom of travel, what is freedom really? Is it working against the norm and stuff like that? And then there's the obvious things of like being trapped behind prison bars, enforced entrapment, things being trapped in time, a rattled cage, like when you're angry and stuff, or having locked in syndrome, again, like being trapped inside your own body perhaps. Suspended animation, so something, yeah, being trapped in time, like we have all been like in the last year and stuff. And then the thing of like freedom and rising again, rising from the ashes, you know, like a phoenix and stuff, and those like petrol colors and things. And then it made me think of the Shawshank Redemption, where you said about like pressure and time, like, because that's all we've got is pressure and time, but in the end that makes diamonds, doesn't it? Pressure and time. So yeah, that was my thinking so far. So I've been cutting out, or rather ripping out, printing off and ripping out images that I thought could represent some of those. So now we're going to turning these things into these random selection of words into images to take inspiration from. So I might go and sit out the front in the garden and start gluing some of these in, and then I think the designs will start coming, so we shall see. Getting a little bit burnt again, even though I've put lotion on, but there we go. It's so nice though. Right, as you can see, I've done my little bit of scrapbooking there of ideas. I'm going to start on a bit of the designing next, but first of all, let me just read out a couple of bits of the Maya Angelou poem. So, a free bird leaps on the back of wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. The cage bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom. Well, here we are. I've got some little designs. I'm just going to add a little bit of colour and maybe talk about some of them. Hope you can see that all right. So yeah, all in silver, as you can see. So my first thought's obviously the traditional bird cage, bird silhouette, all in silver there, silver bars, just a flat bird in a cage. And then I thought, what about the bird escaping? Might be quite nice to see the bird actually getting free from the cage, maybe. And then this one, development of that, where the bird is actually flying off. This obviously comes from Chloe saying that she felt like a bird trapped in a cage. So a lot of these are obviously themed around that, a little bit about travel, rib cages, protection, birds, lots of birds, bit of fire. I kind of like the ideas of like wings being a bit of a theme maybe, because cages can also be like a protection sort of thing, so maybe like some silver wings protecting a little gemstone, like a little fiery stone. Who knows? And then we've got the classic prison bars here. So, like what you would see on porridge. like in your classic prison, but like with the bars pulled apart. And again, maybe the stone in the center, because I want to use a stone. I want to challenge myself. But perhaps this stone is the thing that's breaking out. It's actually escaping. That could be like a nice rough cut ruby, like I had delivered today maybe. And then something a little bit more abstract here with like the break in the bars. So something again quite structural. Very much like in structural things, because it's a cage, you just kind of assume that there's this sort of cubic structure to things, don't you? This one is sort of like a phoenix, I suppose. There was something about like the Maya Angelou poem that made me think of like a phoenix, and the rising up again, and the being free, rising from the ashes of this year. I kind of like this one as well, like the cube. I think that would be quite challenging to do a cube, but then I thought, what about doing a hinged open door? Now that would be a challenge, wouldn't it, to put a hinge in something. And then this one again, like a 3D sort of wireframe, but maybe with some kind of fantastic gem in the middle that perhaps represented, I don't know, again just the protection. Maybe it represents us, maybe it represents our hearts. Yeah. Very similar to this one down here actually, where I had kind of globe shaped one, and perhaps doing a globe inside that. So I've got, I mean, what kind of stone looks like the earth? Maybe some kind of, is there a jasper? There's a ruby ziosite that is green with red in it. I wonder if there's anything that's blue with green in it. Might be quite nice. This one I thought would be a fantastic challenge. So this is a globe as well. So this would be a perfect round with holes drilled out of it. And then the gem being encased inside. That would be super difficult, wouldn't it? Like a molten core. So trapped in a globe and drilled out to reveal the gem. Going back to cages, I thought and birds, I thought how a bird's claw is almost like a cage as well. Cage holding the gemstone. Maybe it's like picking up the gemstone to take it away somewhere. Maybe flying south somewhere nice. And do the, see, Maya Angelou said about them being dipped in gold or dipped in orange, but I'm thinking gold. So we've got more birds over here. Going a bit abstract, a little bit deco. Yeah. So like a traditional kind of wing shape, I suppose. Maybe with a little something on the end of a chain there. This one again is another globe. I was thinking of maybe making a bird-shaped charm to go in the middle so it rattles. A rattle cage, being angry, that sort of thing. It's good with a rib cage actually. So the cages that humans make, so whether it's one in the brain or like here a literal rib cage that's protecting our hearts, protecting our insides. So even though we have been trapped for this year, at least we've had some kind of protection from stuff, I suppose. Same with this one, a wire cage around a stone. Wonder what pink would be nice. Pink and solar. Wonder what stone would do that. There's elements of like pink and blue and things in a moonstone. I like how these colours sort of bleed into each other. I don't know even if that is any kind of stone there. But yeah, this is just... I've got a pendant myself that's sort of similar. It's a heart with a cage around it. It's very goth and emo. This one's got a little padlock in the middle, but now you can't see it because I've coloured it all in. And then again, I went back to like Art Deco forms and having a rib cage that is more wire work and structural. Another wing. I do like these wings. It's almost like Russian propaganda, you know? Something fabulous about them. Let's give them some gems. How about a little purpley gem there for you? Pinky purple. And then I bought some green Savorite the other day. They're lovely little stones. So this would be a flat pendant, I think. Yeah, these ones would be flat. And then that would be like an outline of one. So I'd have to cut and shape. So roll it out, because I'll be making this out of precious metal clay, because obviously I'm only learning as yet how to do this kind of thing. I in no way will ever be a silversmith, but let's cut that out of precious metal clay, maybe put a nice big stone in the middle. I fancy an emerald in there. It's too dark for an emerald. That in there is a Russian diopside, so maybe something like that. Emeralds are actually a lot paler than you think. This one, again, I was quite taken with a vase that I'd shown in there, and I really like the shape, like this round. Has a nice friendly pendant shape, but is subtly abstract as wings, I think. And I don't want to be too obvious, you know. And then that could be a flat. It's almost like a, rather than a phoenix, more like a thunderbird maybe, with a tail. And again, just thinking of doing like a tiny little cage in the middle, a wire cage with some sort of fabulous gem in the center there. And then I was thinking, what kind of gems would you have in the middle? I'm wondering whether I could find some kind of gemstone that is a cage within itself. I know that sounds weird, but you know how amber has little insects caught in it? See? A little timeless thing, like suspended animation. Give that one a little bit of a sapphire glint there. Yeah. So I'm thinking possibly one of these. I'm edging towards particular themes and motifs. Yeah. So, I guess find out next time which one of these designs I've decided to evaluate and take a bit further. Which one am I going to develop? Which one is going to be the closest one to the final design. Well, let me know which ones you like, and I'll completely ignore you and do what I want anyway, because, you know, that's me. Right, wish me luck.